astonishing fall from grace? He talks with our recount.
A standing room only crowd in Cincinnati on its feet.
I had more pleasurable nights in baseball than anybody had ever played the game.
Rose looking for hit 4-1, 9-2. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. And he really...
I'm part of history. I'm part of history. And there's no question in my mind, I'll die the hit king. I will die the hit king.
Fires, Rose swings.
No matter what you think of Pete Rose, you can't deny what an electric moment that was. On September 11th, 1985, Rose became baseball's all-time Major League hit leader, a record that still stands today.
And for baseball, this is one of the all-time great moments.
And yet, the debate over whether his cardinal sin, gambling on baseball, should keep him out of the Hall of Fame for life remains as fierce as ever.
Hey, King, #1, baby!
Although there's little debate in his hometown of Cincinnati, here in the Queen City, Pete Rose is king.
Pete Rose, Hall of Fame, all day long, best ever to play the game.
He still goes to opening day, just like he did as a kid.
I'd be up there where I needed oxygen, but I didn't care.
Yeah,
Up there in Burden home, and up there in Burden going to school.
Every time he's up on the stadium jumbotron, Reds fans go wild. He grew up 5 miles from here, often ditching school to see the Reds play. School was really never your thing. So
No, except to play football.
Yeah.
My biggest love in high school was football.
Not baseball.
Not baseball. I was a better football player than I was a baseball player.
So how'd you come out of football and into baseball then?
Well, I was lucky because I had an uncle who was a scout for the Reds. This is sad to say, but if I had not had an uncle who was a scout for the Reds, I would have never got an opportunity to play for the Reds.
Here's scrappy infielder Pete Rose, 5th leading hitter in the league with a smart .315 average and a fine glove man, too.
Maybe he overcompensated. He played so hard, he got a nickname, Charlie Hustle. He won games, but he didn't always win friends in the clubhouse. What was it like your rookie year? I mean, how were you accepted by the rest of the team?
I wasn't. You throw this brash young kid in there from Cincinnati, and I was brash. I wasn't cocky, but I was very confident the way I played.
You weren't cocky enough.
No, I wasn't cocky. If I was cocky, it wasn't... Well, maybe I was cocky, but I wasn't arrogant. It's a big difference.
Rose was called up to the major leagues in 1963. He lived with his parents his rookie year in this home at the end of Braddock Street on Cincinnati's west side.
Where all those trees are used to be a little ball field for me.
Really?
Right in the backyard.
It sits just above the banks of the Ohio River, where as a kid, Rose worked on a ferry. That ferry, Boone County #7. And that's the actual one you worked on?
Yeah, that's it right there. It was more or less the joy of riding a ferry back and forth.
Yeah.
Like a river captain.
We rode across the Ohio to a park Rose wanted to show us.
We used to play on this field more than that one.
Yeah. As a team,
It was really a good
this is where he honed his baseball skills. They even named the diamond after him. And that's not all.
And now, I go to the Reds games. Where are they playing at? On Pete Rose Way.
What do you think when you see that now?
Am I alive? I remember the first time I went over the bridge and saw that that freeway sign, Pete Rose Way. I looked at Arnie, my buddy. I said, "Am I dead? Because you're supposed to be dead when your name's on the street."
Cincinnati has won the World Championship, beating the Boston Red Sox 4-3.
Rose helped lead the Big Red Machine to 2 World Series championships and a 3rd with the Philadelphia Phillies. In addition to being Major League Baseball's all-time hits leader, Rose also holds the record for the most career at-bats, the most career singles, the most games ever played, just to name a few.
When I go to talk to independent leagues or minor league teams, I tell them, and it's the truth. I tell them, I look them right in the eye and say, let me tell you guys something. Everybody in this clubhouse had more talent than me. But none of you will accomplish anything that I did. Because I'm going to outwork you. I have more enthusiasm than you. I have more desire than you. Those are God-given talents, too. Not just a strong arm, power. But enthusiasm is a God-given talent. You can't teach enthusiasm. You can't teach desire. You either got it or you don't. And I had it.
And there it is, number 3,000. Had it, indeed. And loyal fans haven't forgotten his hard-scrabble style of play.
That's a picture of when he broke the record. I mean, that's a hard record to break.
But despite those records, at 73, the closest Pete Rose can get to the game these days is signing his name for money.
I'm nervous. You're Pete Rose?
He lives in Las Vegas, where he's engaged to a Playboy model, what will be his third marriage. Most days, you can find him here, signing autographs at the Art of Music, a memorabilia shop in the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino.
That's when I broke Stan Musial's record, and we have a Cincinnati jersey.
He's got all manner of things to sign. There are bats and balls, photos and jerseys, some cheap, some not so much.
How much does this come for?
800.
Really?
How many you want?
You belong in the Hall of Fame.
All right.
An argument can be made that Pete Rose is more popular for not being in the Hall of Fame than had he made it in.
Is there any Cub fans in here? Why?
His name is good enough to pack in audiences. In this case, to help raise money for a local theater in Cincinnati.
I remember one time in 1967, I'm going to get in trouble for telling this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. What are you going to do, suspend me?
He's still asked to endorse products, everything from pizza to athletic wear.
Hi, Pete Rose here, in the hall.
In a recent ad for Skechers, he's even made his banishment a punchline.
Pete, you're not supposed to be in the hall.
I can't catch a break.
Well, I think it's pathetic. I mean, I think the whole current Pete Rose situation is sad. I almost feel sorry for him. I mean, I'm close.
Not quite.
But not quite. Because I think he never really understands what it means to say he's sorry.
Fay Vincent hopes baseball never Pete Rose near the game again. He took over as baseball's commissioner in 1989, just after Bart Giamatti, the man who banished Rose in the first place.
One of the game's greatest players has engaged in a variety of acts which have stained the game, and he must now live with the consequences of those acts.
Rose had not only bet on baseball, but he bet on his own team while he was managing. Never to lose, he says, always to win. But gambling has been the third rail of baseball ever since the Chicago White Sox took money to intentionally lose the World Series back in 1919.
He was such a great ball player, and he cared about the game, but he cared about money even more.
How could someone who loved the game of baseball as much as you did and do have risked it all?
That's a good question. I can't answer it. I wish I had an answer. I usually got an answer for everything. I just simply, the best way is to say is I screwed up.
Were you worried though when you were betting on baseball that you'd get caught?
No, I didn't even think about it.
But you knew it was wrong.
Yeah, I sure did. Sure did. But you know, you think you're, well, I don't want to say bigger than the sport, but you just, nobody's going to know.
All wanted was at least an apology. Instead, Rose denied it all.
The only thing I can tell the fans is I did not bet on baseball.
Do you wish you'd come clean sooner?
Sure I did. Yeah, I wish I would, sure.
How come you didn't?
I don't know.
Pete said, what do I do to help baseball? How do I make this great game better? If I made a mistake, I'm willing to do penance. How do I do it? What do you think I should do? He never said that.
Do you think you would have, maybe it wouldn't have been a lifetime ban if he had?
I think there's every indication that if he had really understood and people had coached him and he'd gotten the word, he'd be back in baseball today.
In your heart of hearts, do you think you're going to get
Yes. Sure. I don't know if I'm going to live to see it. Someone, at some period of time, will feel it in their heart to give me a second chance. I might be 6 feet under, but that's what you have to live with.
Baseball may keep him out of the Hall of Fame, but it can't keep him out of Cooperstown, New York.
Pete Rose in the building. Pete Rose now signing.
Every year, while other baseball greats are celebrating their induction, Rose comes to sell autographs, and he draws quite a crowd.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's the longest line in town, but that still doesn't make his exile easy.
I don't think people really understand, and it's probably my fault, the way I played. But I got feelings. You know, I'm sentimental like everybody else. You know, I'd rather be down there with a plaque on the wall, but I kind of screwed that up, and I understand that. And if the band's ever lifted, I'll be the happiest guy in the world. But until then, you just have to try to do what you can do.
Meantime, Pete Rose shows him why they call him Charlie Hustle. And how he got to
Most agree he was a great player, but even Pete Rose admits he wasn't always a great man. He doesn't use the word sorry much, except on the baseballs he signs, which are inscribed with the words, "I'm sorry I bet on baseball."